Happy Wednesday. So, this is Coffee and Conversation with Jennifer. And I wanted to remind you that organizing isn't complicated, time is sacred, and money is a renewable resource. So, welcome to this week's Coffee and Convo. And a topic that I think is really important is it's a good question, but what is our greatest asset? And I'll open up with a really fun story. Monday was Raymond's birthday, and last year for his birthday, we took a big trip for us. And I know a lot of people travel worldwide, but for us, most of the travel had been pretty regionally. So last year, we had signed up for a conference in Las Vegas. We flew to Las Vegas. We stayed there for a couple of days. Then we rented a car, drove to San Diego, stayed there for a couple of days, and then drove to Phoenix. Yes, Phoenix. And then flew home. And travel is one of those things for me is very eye-opening and very heart-opening. And it also is sort of just this perspective shifter of life, what's important and what's not. And when I think about my greatest assets, I think of memories, and specifically I think of memories from when we do things or when we've done things, but more specifically like when we've traveled. And it doesn't have to be, sitting on a beach with margaritas. It could be going down to just walking on the beach in San Diego. There's just for me, the greatest asset is memories, and it's photos from memories specifically for traveling. And when it comes to organizing, not everything is that important. Not everything has that much meaning. There are things that mean a lot to us. They were grandparents. I have a clock that was my grandpa's, who I didn't meet, and who used to be a jeweler. And he used to sell clocks in his jewelry store. That's cool. Like, the story about that is cool. So the clock that's broken means more to me than it would mean to anyone else. But our greatest asset tends to be our memories and the legacy or the story of who we are or who we've come from. And so when it comes to our homes, that stuff gets mixed in with other non-important things. A lot of clothes or shoes or dishes or furniture, or blankets or movies and games and puzzles, and they all get mixed in together. And when you start to really identify the things that mean the most to you, it's photos and memories and things that have a history, a story that's only your story, only your history. And that's the part that's what, when you're organizing, you want to preserve that. You want to take care of those pictures. They shouldn't be in a box in a Ziploc bag. They should be in a binder or something that you can retrieve and look at often. Raymond's mom has so many pictures, printed pictures, but they're in plastic Tupperware containers, and they're kind of thrown in there. And she may have organized them. This has been a while since I've seen them, but those memories are our greatest asset, is his greatest asset, is his family's greatest asset, but it's always the last thing that gets organized. Photos are usually the last thing ever to get organized. I hardly ever get to organize pictures with clients because it goes pretty slow and they want to go really fast. They want the big payoff. But what is the greatest asset? What is your greatest asset? And I know for me that photos from travel experiences and traveling, that's what means the most to me, not how many dishes I have or the pattern on the dishes or how many clothes that I have and how trendy and cool they are, or the type of furniture that I have. All those things are nice, but they're not my greatest asset. And I was thinking about that today in reflection on Raymond's birthday trip from last year. and how for us, we both realize that we enjoy traveling, and I also get really creative when I travel. I've written some of my best pieces during or after a travel trip, and thinking about going forward. It's like if you're feeling weighed down, so I'll use myself as an example. If I'm starting to feel weighed down in a home or with a lot of things, and I know my greatest asset is memories from traveling, then I need to start balancing that situation out and letting things go, getting rid of some of the anchored down feeling. And you can only do that by letting things go, getting rid of them, and then really start to reevaluate and redesign your home, your life, your day in a way that serves you. Stuff doesn't always serve. In fact, it can be a really mean master, and I don't want to be a slave to stuff. And I know most of my clients don't want to be a slave to things either, or being a slave to busyness, because, organizing is like this little triangle. Organizing at the top, time and money. So if you're not organized, then you're usually busy, and you might have some debt, or there might be some bad habits with spending, or not even sure where money goes. Not that any of that's bad, but that they're all kind of connected. And I don't want to be a slave to stuff, and I don't want to be a slave to busyness. And I know most people don't like that feeling either, when they're really truly honest, of being overrun with things and being overrun with calendar clutter. So that's my 2 thoughts this week on this week's Coffee and Convo is, what is your greatest asset? Is it pictures? Is it memories? Memories from what? Well, how did you create those memories? And can you build in more of that in your life now? And if photos mean a lot to you, then how are you storing them? How are you enjoying them? How are you using them? Are they in picture frames? Are they in albums? Are they organized? Can you retrieve it quickly? Do you ever retrieve them? Just some thoughts. Well, I hope you have a good week. Catch me back next week for a coffee and conversation, always at 3. I was a little late today because I had a call, but always at 3, and always helpful, I hope, at least. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.